some competition out here. Come on.
The other they have to do that. Our people don't.
I don't know if you heard this, that Dame Dash's catalog sold over the weekend. The Roc-A-Fella catalog. It sold to I believe New York State. I'm gonna play what Dame said, but first, matter of fact, let me play what Dame said, and then I'm gonna give you what Vlad said. After that, here we go.
And them shits play all day. But I'm not a rapper, so the way that I could at least, make sure that the narrative is correct, I got to speak on it. But no one says anything when people put my name in their records. But I never talked about that conversation we had. It's not even nothing that's supposed to bother. I was like, that part. Everyone is so scared that I'm going to get a certain kind of bread without them. Why does that scare people so much? But anyway, at the end of the day, I don't really understand it. My child support, I guess, will get paid. And in my mind, I wasn't getting any of that bread anyway. If I could sell it, I thought people really loved Homeboy Pause way more than they did. People did not show up. Drake did put a bid in for $6 million, but then he disappeared. And so I'm like, damn. Well, I don't know what happened. But other than that, everybody else was, no serious people were like, no one wanted that shit. Period. And when you go and look at the numbers, like the people that buy and acquire people's catalog went to look and they were like, first of all, we can't get no numbers, but the numbers that I'm hearing, it's not worth more than $1 million. I'm like, I know. What can you do? So everyone made a big deal over this asset, and it's like, bro, I just want to get rid of it. Any way I can. They stopped me from selling this shit. I just want to move on. But, either way, I don't know if this is the rest to bed. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even really understand. It didn't make sense to me. So somebody can do some research. I'm sure they'll put some stupid narrative on it. But Jay didn't even make a bid. He didn't even want his own shit. He didn't think it was worth $3 million. He himself did not want to bid $3 million on that shit because that was the floor. $1 billion, suppose. I'm not. And again, this thing of counting another man's money. The reason why I'm not trying to knock a man, it's just not for me to ever say what's in another man's pocket. Men don't do that. Again, I'm not sure exactly what that means. If they bought it for $1 million, I don't know why. I know the people that initially pushed the whole auction they don't get $1, zero. I know my child support will get paid. So I don't know. Again, to me, I wasn't making no money from it. They weren't ever going to cut me any checks for it unless we went to court. And it was just time to get rid of it so I didn't have to be mad about it no more. And if I could get it to pay for my kids' colleges and my child support, that's better than a pizza blank. And I don't think it should be like that. But, sometimes when you want to just go to new, like I've left blocks before. Like me and my homeboys have a block and then we don't get along and keep the block. I can get another block clicking. I can always get new work to click. That's just how I see things. I'd rather start over than argue with people that I think are my friends or have to deal with people that just make me feel bad or I just don't like the energy. Pause.
Let me read what Vlad said about this. He put, the reason Dame Dash was trying to get $10 million for reasonable doubt auction is because he had to close out that amount of debt. He goes on to say he owes $8.7 million in back taxes, $145,000 in unpaid child support, $823,000 to a film producer who sued him. That's around $9.7 million. If someone paid $10 million at auction, he would be debt free. Instead, the $1 million that he got was only 1/3 of the share of reasonable doubt. Went straight to the IRS. He still owes $8.7 million. That's from Vlad. You got all the information. What's your thoughts?
F Vlad. Always in
yeah,
forever.
because that's yeah.
F Vlad.
Right.
Always and forever. Now let's get on to the more important part, and that's Dame. Because, even though F Vlad, breaking down the numbers, these are things that we already knew. We knew why he was trying to sell his piece of the pie for what he was trying to sell it for. We knew about the lawsuit. We knew about the child support. We knew about the back taxes. Dame even alluded to it a little bit, even though I think Dame has a very, very hard problem with holding himself accountable. It was very hard to listen to because I fuck with Dame. And we said that a million times on here. But he sounded all over the place. He sounded distraught. He sounded disappointed. He's still throwing blame and shade at Jay-Z. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
They buy that for $1 million. First off, who's buying it for $10 million when they know once it goes to auction, it's not going to go anywhere close to that? So
And ain't Jay supposed to be getting it back at a certain point in time anyway?
So why would he put money out that's not even necessary?
Right.
It makes no sense.
Right.
Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody go ahead and know that in a couple months it'll go for auction for pennies on a dollar? Why would I give you $10 million? That's just like, okay, I got this player. I'm gonna give you 2, 3, third round draft picks, but he's going to free agency next year. I'm gonna just wait.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get it without having to give you anything. And like, I don't know the ins and outs of the agreement, or if they can, New York can now go and sell it to its highest bidder, or however that works. I'm not sure. But it's just this is another sad story, unfortunately. And we've heard people talk about Dame Dash numerous times, and a lot of people got a lot of respect for him. But at the same time, they just say they all have the same denominator, and that's he doesn't do business to this, or it's his this, or it's his that. And I've never seen Dame just stand up on his shit and go, you know what? I made my bed. I got to lay in it. Let me get my way out of it. It's always let me direct blame toward this, and let me show you what I'm doing to show you that I'm better than this person. But we still see all this debt, and nobody likes talking about other people's money. Nobody likes talking about people's financial situation. Shit ain't easy out here, but it's just man.
Nah, that's a good point.
On top of that, and I really hope, and this will be my final point, my bad.
No, go ahead.
He says he don't want to talk about it no more. We've heard this shit for years. We've heard that he don't want to talk about Jay-Z for years. We did an interview on here. We asked him a question. He said he didn't want to talk about it.
4 years ago.
4 years later, all he does is talk about it. So I hope he's serious about that. He says when he has to. I guess if anybody asks him a question, that means he has to. We'll see, man. But what's your thoughts?
Nah, I mean, again, if you're not really talking about his time at Roc-A-Fella and Jay-Z, what are you really talking about with Dame? Now, I mean, he'll give you some good, stories and advice and things. Talk about his, his network and his music and his rock and roll band and things like that. But outside of that, it's not much. People are not going to ask him much more questions outside of those few questions. Everything else is going to be Jay-Z, Roc-A-Fella, the auction. How I kind of feel about it, man, is it's a sad story. And let me ask you this before I go in. Do you is Jay-Z vindicated now for parting ways with this guy? Because it seems like a train wreck. Like, you think he's vindicated before I go?
I think he was vindicated years ago.
Man.
Long time ago.
Right.
But go ahead.
And that's what you see, like he seen something early on where he wanted to part ways. Since then, and it's not because Jay-Z's Illuminati that he sold out. It's because that he made smart business decisions and he's good with his money. Dame Dash made wrong business decisions and he's not good with his money. It's fine. A lot of us are not good with our money. Yep. But just admit it and come out and admit it. Don't, deflect and say, look, I'm a hustler. I'm just going to start again. And start telling us about drugs and crack. This ain't the crack game, my dude. Mm-mm. This is totally different. I get it how there's, things that match up with it, but this is real business. This is real life stuff. And it just looks bad. And it's not bad that, to me, I don't care that he's in debt. Like, shit happens.
Yeah.
My problem is that he won't take the proper accountability.
That's it.
Just say, look, man, I effed it up, though. I had mad bread. I blew it. Like Jay-Z said, too much flossing, too much Sam Rossing, whatever he said, whatever the word he said, like too much flossing, too much cars, too much chains, too much fronting on people, too much trips to these stores and that stores and going to bird offs and all this shit and spending too much money. That's what really happened. And I think if he was just an honest man and came out, that people would forgive him and they would move on.
Man.
That's what I feel like.
Dame got the charisma and got the leadership to go and do TED Talks right now. And to really talk to people and give them game on his mistakes.
There you go.
On things he messed up on. And how he built his way. He would sell out fucking arenas. I don't know about arenas, but a space for 300, 400, 500, 1,000 people talking about his story, city by city. That man can make his money back telling his real story because he has that in him. But for some reason, like you said, that lack of accountability, he'd rather go like this instead of going like this.
Yeah.
And we've watched it harm him for decades on end. Man.
You should have listened to Jay-Z. What Jay-Z said? He said, you pay your taxes, you're hustling backwards. That's real.
Yeah.
When those millions start to come in, man, they're gonna want their cut.
Yep.
They're definitely 100%, and there's really no way really around it. You got to pay it. Some point in now, they auctioning shit off and they're getting it back somehow, some way. So still love Dame, still respect him. Will love to hear his story. Like you said, I would love to hear the pitfalls and what to do, and just come out and talk about shit. I should have, I got this $5 million check, a $10 million check, and I was supposed to, give a portion to the IRS, and I blew the shit.
Yep.
You don't do the same thing I do.
Right.
Do that, and you can, because believe it or not, you ain't the only one. You're not gonna be the last one.
Nope. And
Go ahead.
My bad. You would help people.
Right.
People would see that story and go, damn, okay, well, if he was in it, I'm in it now. I can get out of that.
Right.
They don't look at it like that.
And you think about, like, Jay-Z hasn't said shit for years. A silent killer. It ain't nothing to say. But he's progressing up the ladder to where he's about to be worth $3 billion. And he can easily come in and think about it. Jay-Z can easily write you a check and clear that debt. Easily. He's done it for a lot of people. Why won't he do it, though? Not saying he's obligated. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
But why won't he do it?
He did it for Wayne. He wasn't nowhere around Wayne the way he was around you.
Easily.
He about the mud and built something up the way he did with you. So I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, only Jay-Z knows, and we weren't in that relationship. Even people that were around them don't really know the integral part of their relationship. They were business partners. That's damn like husband and wife on something. You know what I mean? So people just don't notice on the outside. So it is what it is, man. But I do wish, with all that being said, that he comes out on top, and I think he will.
Me too. And I think if he would have moved different people, because no one absolves Jay and all this. Ain't nobody saying that Jay's hands are all the way clean. But you know what?
Right,
We don't
right.
even know where the dirt starts from, because he don't say shit.
Right.
He don't say nothing.
I'm sure he got a story, though.
I'm sure he do. And I'm sure everything Dame be saying ain't lies. But we hear too much of it that eventually it just gets watered down.
Right.